you had kind of a hierarchy of
Oh yeah, we had a government.
a government inside. Your prisoners had a government. Now, were you just American prisoners, or did you have British with you?
There's just American prisoners in our compound. The biggest part of the Stalag 17 was Americans, but they did have an English compound and a Russian compound. And I think a French.
Did you, during the day, mingle with the other compounds? No, you stayed separate.
Yeah, the American compounds we did, but not with the Russian or the English or the French.
Just they.
But we would. The Russians didn't belong to the International Red Cross.
Right.
And they made them work. So they'd go out, work on the farms every day. And then they'd bring back vegetables. That's the only way they got anything to eat. And some of the Americans would throw cigarette packages over into the Russian compound, and they would throw food back. They'd rather smoke than eat, and we'd rather eat than smoke. And it started out, the Americans would tie a rock to the package of cigarettes, and they could get it. The Russians had a warning wire too, so you had to throw pretty far. If they started out, they could get the cigarettes over far enough with a rock on there. So that worked pretty good for a while. Then they ran out of rocks. And the Americans didn't care whether the Russians was killed or not anyway. So they knew they could get a pack of cigarettes over our warning wire. So they'd throw, and they'd get them over into the Russian compound, but not over the warning wire. So them Russians, they'd take a chance. They'd jump the warning wire and run and get the cigarette and go back. Maybe they made it, maybe they didn't.
You ever heard of?
We didn't care as long as they got the food over on our side.
Do you ever know any that didn't make it?
Oh yeah. Yeah, they'd bury about 3 or 4 a day.
3 or 4 Russian prisoners a day?
But not all because of that. Some of them just starved to death or disease or...
Yeah. How many Americans do you think were buried a day or a week?
No, we didn't have. I think there was only 3 or 4 that were shot. I don't know of any of them that died from a disease or anything.
So the American prisoners fared a lot better than the Russians.
Yeah, we was members of the International Red Cross.
The French fared pretty good, and the English fared pretty good.
Yeah.
Compared to the Russians, I should say.
All, everybody was.
It was the Geneva Convention, right? They were everybody at that time, right?
Yeah.
And the Russians weren't a part of that.
They didn't have anything to protect them at all.